Good day, ma'am. I am James Howard Saldia from BSHM 3A, and today I will discuss about Chapter 15, Tourism and Hospitality Management Education. So our topic outline for today are curriculum, school laboratories and other CHED requirements, things required by CHED, student practicum and apprenticeship, qualification of requirements for the agencies, parties involved, obligation, responsibilities of the agencies, parties involved, operation of the International Practicum Training Program, accreditation and deregulation of schools, tuition fees, sexual harassment in the academy, random drug testing for the tertiary level students, tertiary education equivalency, foreign students. So our learning objectives are identify the requirements in the opening and operation of tourism and hospitality management program. Second, differentiate schools abiding with the laws from those that are not. Third, identify the laws governing various issues in the tourism and hospitality education. And lastly, fourth, identify the requirements for the tourism-related technical vocation programs. Curriculum. The curriculum of the BS Bachelor of Science Tourism and BS Hotel and Restaurant Management programs of the different college and universities around the country should be compliant with the CHED Memorandum Order Number 31 Series of 2001. School laboratories and other CHED requirements. The law. The grant of government recognition should be based on a full 100% compliance with the minimum requirements prescribed by the CHED in the offering of the particular program of the study, specifically in terms of faculty, library, laboratory, and administration. School offering BS, Hotel and Restaurant Management or Hospitality Management are required to have different kinds of laboratory. Example, kitchen laboratory for food preparation, mock-up guest room for housekeeping, front office for simulation, mock-up restaurant and bar for the food and beverage services, and a computer laboratory for the computer subjects. Good laboratory aims to hone the practical skills of the students. Things required by CHED are administrators with at least master's degree and industrial managerial experience. 25% of the subject taught by teachers with master's degrees and industry experience, at least 2,500 volumes of books, a session in the library for permit, and 5,000 for recognition. At least 1,000 square meters in a floor area, adequately library space, accommodating 15% of enrollment. Student practicum or apprenticeship. The law in relation in CMO number 31 series of 2001. The minimum requirements for students practicum in a BS Tourism and BS Hotel and Restaurant Management are 3 units. A minimum of 200 hours for each area of specialization. Example, for HRM majors, at least 200 hours in a hotel operation and another 200 hours in the restaurant operations. For schools offering an international practicum training program, CMO 15 series and 2002 covers the implementing guidelines. Is it the policy of the Commission on the Higher Education to encourage the promote strong academic linkage with the industry for the cross-cultural training and skill enhancement to ensure attainment of knowledge, skills, and desirable attitude that will make Filipino students global competitive? In the pursuit of the policy, CHED hereby establishes the International Practicum Training Program to make possible the practicum training of undergraduate students in the various companies, training institutions, and organizations in the various parts of the world. The learning that the students get and their practicum training will develop new competencies and skills that will make them internationally competitive for employment here or abroad. In view of keeping pace with the demands of the global competitiveness, the Commission of the Higher Education issued a list of training partners accredited by CHED for the International Practicum Training Program. Heads of higher education institutions are enjoined to enter into agreements only with the training partners endorsed by CHED. Qualification of requirements for the agencies parties involved. Higher education institutions. Only higher education institutions with accredited programs are qualified to participate in the International Practicum Training Program and maybe deploy their HRM tourism students. Training partner. The training partner must be at least a 3-star hotel, resort club, or restaurant duly accredited by the relevant Hotel Restaurant Association in their country. Third-party training partner. The third-party training partner must be accredited by CHED and meet the following requirements. First, the registration with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Second, a license to conduct recruitment and placement services in the Philippines in a partnership with a duly licensed Philippines-owned agencies in the same business and maintaining a Philippine office. Third, dormitory type accommodation for student trainees abroad that is safe, clean, and conducive to rest and study, well lighted and well ventilated, quiet, and located from undesirable establishments such as warehouse, gambling joints, and factories. B. Completely equipped with necessary household items in the kitchen, bedrooms, dining room, living room, and laundry area. C. Located near the workplace, managed by training partners with a person in charge, preferable Filipino, responsible for close monitoring of trainees. Fourth, proof of capability and willingness to meet the obligation and responsibilities of 3TP prescribed in the guidelines, particularly in the item of Article 5 of if already a old partner or contract, a track record that's adhered to its students' trainees' previous contract with a participating higher education institution. And fifth, compliance with the requirements of the other government agencies in the Philippines, particularly the Bureau of Immigration and Department, the Department of Foreign Affairs, and the Department of Tourism. Students, considering the close cultural nature at its program, participants should be carefully selected. They should possess the following qualification. Number 1, must be HRM tourism students currently enrolled in the practicum subject. 2, must be at least 18 years old. 3, must be past all pre-practicum requirements. 4, must be recommended by the faculty practicum coordinator and the dean of the college. 5, must undergo a pre-departure orientation seminar and proficiency training in the basic industry language. 6, must be physically and mentally fit with a pleasant personality. 7, must be articulate in English or the language spoken in the host country. 8 must possess the manifest approval or consent from the parents or guardians. 9 must have the right attitude towards practicum or work. Obligations, responsibilities of agencies, parties involved. The specific obligation responsibilities of the parties involved in the implementation of the IPTP are as follows. Number 1, higher education institutions. A. Select a participant in accordance with the qualification requirements with the concurrence of the 3TP. B. Assign a full-time academically qualified faculty practicum coordinator responsible for all aspects of the IPTP and its demand to include program implementing and evaluation. C. Conduct a pre-departure orientation or seminar the cooperation with the 3TP for the students and their parents guardians. D. Submit to CHED the list of departing students together with the following information documents. Address and telephone numbers of the training partners and the TPTP. Schedule of departure and arrival of trainees. Work permits of the student issued by the Ministry and of Manpower abroad. Transcript of the records of the true copy of grades. Copy of passports. Copy of the letters of certification and enrollment in a practicum as required by the foreign government. Copy of the CHED certificate of recognition of the HRM tourism course. E. Provide CHED with an authentic list of the students certified to have completed the international practicum training program with documentary evidence. Training partners provide the work experience or the job training on the student trainees in the accordance with the agreed training plan and schedule of activities. Number 1, assign of competent training supervisor responsible for all phases of the works, including the evaluation of performance of trainees, and second, issue certificate of completion of the trainees prior to departure from training venue or country. Number 3, third-party training partner. A screened student based on the preliminary list endorsed by the school, and based on the result prepare the final list, and the TPTP can only place students whose names appear in the FL, and student will be selected through actual interview in the Philippines. Provide the original copy of the in-principle approval letters to the student trainees. Inform the school and the parents of the students about the address, telephone number, and other classified information relevant to the training. Submit to the HEI the approved the tenacity agreement completely with the documentary evidence. Report immediately to the school any misbehavior or unsatisfactory performance of the students. Register the student trainees with the Philippine Embassy immediately upon arrival to include their address and telephone numbers abroad. Provide the student trainees the following: free return airfare, including travel tax and airport terminal fees, if any, free departure medical examination fee, monthly allowance equivalent to at least 60% of the prevailing minimum wage abroad, but not less than $450 or equivalent to currency of the trainee's country. Dormitory style accommodation with a person in charge, preferably a Filipino manager. Free duty meals, uniforms, and laundry regardless of the assigned department for the duration of the trainings. Allowance for shoes, makeup, haircut, and transportation if the workplace is far from the residence. Term benefit insurance at least $10,000 or its equivalent if the currency of the trainee's country. Accidents and dismemberment insurance of at least $10,000 or its equivalent of in the currency of training country. Hospitalization benefits, overtime pay per existing host country law when working on a holiday or existing 8 hours of regular work by 2 hours or more. Night differential pay or 1 day of leave of the holiday. Inform the school about existing government policy in the labor trainees, particularly concerning overtime pay. Pay the fees of the overseas training certificate issued by CHED. Pay the school a program development fee to cover various expenses, exclusive of previously listed benefits. A faculty development program for HRM and student tourism. Operational administrative expenses of the IPTP. Research, evaluation, and documentation. Present a training plan, trainees program of activities for school examination and approval. Provide a faculty practicum coordinator and CHED representative free abroad and lodging for at least 3 days during their initial inspection visit to the training partners' facilities, including return airfare. Students enroll for practicum units with the school and secure complete travel documents such as passports, original transcript of records, school IDs, overseas training certificate from CHED, and in principal approval letter from training partners. Comply all the times with the rules and regulation of the host establishment or training partners and the school where enrolled. Comply with the school rules and regulation of the host establishment or training partner, even part-time, aside from his on-the-job training. Not accept any confidential information about the host establishment. Not divulge any information about the host establishment. Stay in the dormitory provided by the 3TP and not with the foster family abroad. Complete the agreed duration of his practicum training. Number 5, parents, guardian. A co-sign the traineeship contract to the manifest their approval or consent to the training abroad of their son, daughter, even he or she is over 18 years old, and B, attend to the pre-departure seminar or orientation together with the students. C, operation of the International Practicum Training Program. Number 1, implementation. A, the faculty practicum coordinator of HEI and the representative from CHED will conduct an initial visit inspection of the facilities of the training partners. B, the HEI should send one faculty practicum coordinator to coordinate with the counterpart, the supervisor of the training partner, per batch of 15 students trainees at least once during the training period or as the needs of arise. And C, the supervisor of the training partners and the faculty practicum coordinator should, as much as possible, follow the prescribed training plan per department, specifying the knowledge and skill that the students should be acquired in the training areas, namely food and beverage production, food and beverage service, room division, front office or housekeeping, recreational area, other departments and areas. Number 2, monitoring and evaluation. A. The monitoring evaluation of the performance of the students' trainees and the IPTP itself should be done jointly by the supervisor of the training partner and faculty practicum coordinator of the HEI using common procedures, instruments, and standards such as observations, monthly reports, and interviews, conference with the students. B. At the end of the training period, the supervisor of training partner should be provide the students with the following documents with the students. In the turn, will submit to the faculty practicum coordinator certificate of completion, duly accomplished evaluation sheet, other pertinent report information, and or documents with may be required. The supervisor of the training partner's evaluation report will be one of the bases in the giving the student final grade. A student whose contract was terminated due to the resignation or other causes should be given a final grade of the basis of each individual school's grading system after considering the circumstances surrounding such termination. E. The CHID should monitor the compliance of the agencies, parties involved in the implementation of the policies and guidelines of the IPTP. Number 3, duration of the training. A. IPTP should be not less than 3 months but not more than 1 year. These sections. Number 1, any school found guilty of violation of provisions contained in the IPTP policy and guidelines should be subject to the revocations of annual permits to participate in the IPTP. Number 2, any violations of the IPTP policies and the guidelines by the student training should be subject to any of the following sections: failing grade in the practicum subject, invalidation of the training undertaken, disqualification from IPTP. Number 3, any student subsequently assessed to be unsuitable for deployment by the CHED should be deleted from the FL. Number 4, any training partners found guilty after investigation of violating any of the provisions contained in the IPTP policy and guidelines should be blacklisted by CHED, who should advise all school participants of such action. Accreditation of and the regulation of schools. The law, according with the pertinent provisions of Republic Act 7722, otherwise known as the Higher Education Act of 1994, the Commission of Higher Education hereby promulgates the revised policies and guidelines of the voluntary accreditation in the aid of quality and excellence in the higher education for the guidance and information of all concerned stakeholders. It is the declared policy of the state to encourage and assist through the CHED and higher education institutions which desire to attain standards of quality over and above the minimum requirement required by the states. In the collegiate or tertiary level, the main accrediting agency authorized by the Federation of Accrediting Agency of the Philippines in the private sector are Philippine Accrediting Association of the Schools, Colleges and Universities, Philippine Association of College and University Commission and Accreditations, Association of the Christian Schools and Colleges Accrediting Agency. Meanwhile, the public sector has following accrediting agencies authorized by the National Network of Quality Accrediting Agencies. Accrediting Agency of Chartered Colleges and Universities of the Philippines, Associations of the local colleges and university commission on accreditation. For school to be granted the highest level of accreditation, level 3, the following must be satisfied, observed, and reported by the accrediting agencies: reasonably high standard of instructions, highly visible community extensions program, high visible research traditions, strong faculty and development traditions, highly creditable performance and its graduates in licensure board exam, existence of the working consortia and linkages with the other school or agencies, extensive and functional library and other learning resource facilities. Tuition fees, the law, the allowable increase in the tuition and other fees in all levels should not be more than the prevailing national inflation rate. The prevailing national inflation rate should refer to the average annual head-leading inflation rate at the national level of the immediately preceding year prior to the academic year for which attended increase should take effect. Sexual harassment in the academy, the law, Section 3 of the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of the 1995, Republic Act number 7877, provides that in an education of training environment, sexual harassment is committed. Number 1, against who is under the care, custody, or provisions of the offender, against whose education, training, apprenticeship, or tutorship is entrusted to the offender. Number 3, when the sexual favor is made a condition to the giving or passing grade, or the granting of the honor and scholarship, or payment of the stipend, allowance, or other benefits, privilege, or considerations. Or number 4, when the sexual advances results in an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment for the students, trainee, and apprentice. Section 4 of the Republic Act 7877 provides that it is the duty of the employer of the head of the school, president or dean, or head of the training establishment, president or training director, to deter the commission of acts of sexual harassment and to provide the procedure for the resolution, settlement, and or prosecution of acts of sexual harassment. Accomplish this, the employer and head of official A. Create a committee of decorum and investigation of cases on sexual harassment. The committee shall conduct meetings, as the case may be, with the officer and the employees, teachers, instructors, professors, coaches, trainers, and students or trainees to increase understanding and preventing accidents of sexual harassment. It should also conduct the investigation alleged cases constituting sexual harassment. B. Promulgate appropriate rules and regulations in consultation with the jointly approved by the students or trainees through their duly designated representative, example, student council. Prescribe the procedure of the investigation sexual harassment cases and administrative sanctions thereof. C. Create a committee or decorum and investigation of cases on sexual harassments. Employees, teachers, instructors, professors, coaches, trainees, and students or trainers may be with the officer of employees, teachers, instructors, professors, coaches, trainers, and the student or trainees in the increase of understanding and prevent accidents of sexual harassment. It should be also conducted this investigation alleged cases of constituting sexual harassment. Section 5 of this law provides that the head of the school should be solidarily liable for damages arising from the acts of sexual harassment committed in the school if the head of the school is informed of such acts by offended party and no immediate action taken thereon. Random drug testing for tertiary level students. The law, in accordance with the pertinent provisions of Republic Act No. 7722, otherwise known as the Higher Education Acts of 1994, and pursuant to Section 36 of the Article 3 of Republic Act 9165, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Act of 2002, random drug testing of the students in the public and private tertiary higher education institution will be implemented beginning 2003. The purposes of the random drug testing are: number 1, to determine the prevalence of the drug use among students. Number 2, to assess the effectiveness of the school-based and community-based prevention programs. Number 3, to deter the use of illegal drugs. Number 4, to facilitate the rehabilitation of the drug users and dependents. Number 5, to strengthen collaborative efforts of identified agencies against illegal drug use and the rehabilitation of drug users and dependents. Tertiary education equivalency. The law CMO 21 series of 1997 provides the policies and guidelines of the implementation of the expanded tertiary education equivalency and the accreditation program ETEEP pursuant of the Executive Order 330. Foreign students. The law. There have been a number of CHED memoranda issued in the relation to processing the foreign students in the Philippines. CMO 53 1997, amendments to CHED Memorandum Order number 2 series of 1994, the implementing guidelines of the entry and stay of the foreign students in the Philippines and establishment of the Interagency Committee of the purpose to confirm the Executive Order number 423 assigned on 25 June 1997, amending Executive Order number 188. CMO 7 1996, submission of the names designated liaison officers of the higher education institution with the foreign students. CMO 1 1966, submission of the reports of the foreign students with the expired visas and derogatory records. CMO 15 1995, general procedure in the proceeding of the entry and stay of the foreign students. CMO 2 1994, rules and regulation to implementing EO number 188, guidelines on the entry and stay of the foreign students in the Philippines and the establishment of the Interagency Committee of the purpose. Thank you.